Um, okay, you touched on this a bit, but since we're talking about food and things, alcohol. You did a great video on it, and I wonder if you could tell us a little bit more about why we shouldn't be drinking so much anymore.
Well, it's tough, isn't it? Because it's such a crutch, and I think it's totally. I don't think we should beat ourselves up because a lot of us are turning to it to kind of take the edge off a really stressful day or to help us manage those perimenopause symptoms. But I know, we all know that actually it's not that helpful. I think particularly when you're in the middle of a real kind of hormonal, hurricane, let's say.
Yes, that's a good word.
The last thing you need. So, and I'll tell you why, because it messes with your blood sugar for a start. So then it causes these hot flushes. So then it affects our sleep, which then affects our appetite, which affects our mood, which affects our energy levels. So it has this massive kind of knock-on effect. It is, and as we get older, our hangovers, I don't know about you, but mine are just stratospheric.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, God, is it really worth it? So save up your alcohol for if that's what you want to do, for the times where it really is worth it and you are having a brilliant time, and, eke out every last minute and kind of laugh, and it's a very sociable thing, isn't it? So it's brilliant because it means that maybe you can relax and you can hang out with your girlfriends and you can, talk about this time of life, or not. Maybe it's you want to talk about. But what happens is your liver essentially becomes slightly less, it becomes less efficient at processing alcohol.
Okay.
So that's why I think we get these awful hangovers. I think the blood sugar dysregulation really doesn't help. And remember, your liver is processing, it's metabolizing and breaking down everything that you eat, you drink, all your supplements, your medications, all the pollution, all the environmental kind of stuff that we're exposed to. So it will always, but on top of that, if you're putting alcohol in, it sees it as a carcinogen, it's a poison. So it will always deal with that first, that it sees that as the first thing that it needs to start processing, which means your digestion will be kind of quite low down on the list. Hence, you might get bloated or gassy, or
this is so important. So you consume something that it requires sort of the liver to do more work, i.e. the alcohol, and the liver gets to that work first, but you had maybe 3 glasses of wine, which lowered or certainly made you crave more, because now your blood sugar is wonky, your inhibitions have gone down a bit, and you're it's a little bit of a, like a digestive free-for-all. And so you maybe consume things that you haven't in a while, or too much of a good thing, or too much sugar, or whatever. And so now your whole digestive system is slowed down because your liver is trying to deal with the alcohol.
Yeah, it will process that first of all. It needs to get it through
out
as quickly as possible. And as we get older, we have less of an enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase, which breaks down alcohol. So it's a slower process. It's a less efficient process. And, if let's say that you are taking HRT, it's, you're not going to be using that HRT very effectively if you're drinking loads, because again, your liver is dealing with the alcohol rather than metabolizing the HRT.
Interesting. Oh, I had no idea. Okay, so
if, however, if it's a transdermal estrogen, then it's not going through your digestive tract, so that's slightly different. But still, your liver does have to metabolize everything that goes into it.
Right. This is so interesting. This is probably the best explanation I've heard for why I feel so bad, number one, when I drink now, and also number two, why I might just, like, it just doesn't, I don't even really enjoy it that much. And so many women
Yeah.
report that same thing.
Lots of women, again, it's things like wine seem to have the worst effects. So some women will find that maybe if they have a G&T or a vodka with clear spirits, maybe they are slightly, they tolerate them a little bit better. But I would just say, if that is you and it is something that you're enjoying, then just make sure you hydrate. No one ever hydrates, but you need to, every drink, you do need to have a glass of water. You do need to have some time before going to bed so that you've had a bit of time to metabolize and start to regulate your blood sugar levels. Don't have it on an empty stomach, because again, that's just instantly going to spike your glucose levels. And my other tip, this is a good one actually, is to have some electrolytes before you go to bed and possibly in the morning, because it replaces those kind of lost minerals.